it's Julie from Sparklets Art, and I am here to show you how to draw this adorable frog. Now I want you to realize that this frog, he can be whatever color you want, and he can be whatever pattern you want. So this particular frog I did in blue, and then look, I did one in yellow too, and all I used are markers. That's it. So we're going to have fun experimenting with, well, we're first going to draw the frog, and then if you notice, we're going to have fun experimenting with flight patterns of flies today, and also dragonflies. And I don't know if you noticed the wings, but the wings of dragonflies are transparent, so that means you can look through them. So how do you get that look without worrying about coloring around certain parts of the wings? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're actually going to do the dragonflies as the very last step. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a white piece of paper, and you're going to need a black marker for your outline. And again, if all you have are crayons, then that's what I want you to use. I don't want you ever to come to one of these videos and say, oh no, I don't have the right supplies. So that is definitely not what I want you to do. So grab your markers or grab your crayons, or even if you want to paint today, you can do that too. But the first thing I'm going to show you is how to draw this frog. And the first thing we're going to do to draw our frog is we're going to find the middle of the paper, and we're going to just draw a circle. That's it, a simple circle. On the inside of this circle, we're going to draw another circle. And on the inside of this circle, guess what? We're going to draw an even smaller circle, and we're going to use our black marker, and we're going to color in the middle circle. So this is the part that's black, and this little tiny circle is the reflection point. So when the light shines off the frog's eye, that's what you see. So look, we have a giant eyeball in the middle of our page. So we're going to give a frog, our frog, the ridges of his eyes. So his eyes are set and almost these lumps that come out of his face. So we're going to come to the left side of the paper, and we're going to draw a curved line that's going to touch the eyeball. So it's going to start on the left about middle of the eye, and it's going to curve, and it's going to run right into the eye, just like that. Now we're not going to draw the second eye yet, because we're going to draw the face first to make it easier for us to put that second eye on. And the way the face goes is we're going to come and we're going to draw a gentle curving line going this way for the front of his mouth. So it's going to start where we left off. It's going to gently curve like this, and it's going to come in for a little bit of a smile. Now once we have this head, we can go back and we can put the second eye on. And it's just a curved line, so it's here, right here, the point. We're going to move a little bit to the left, and we're going to draw a curved line that runs into the other eye. Now this eye is on the other side of the frog, so we have this eyeball here. You wouldn't see the eyeball on the other side of the frog, so we're not going to draw the actual eye itself. So this is more the bump, the ridge that we see on that frog. We're going to go ahead and draw his back now. We're going to come to the bottom of his eyeball. We're going to draw a curved line that's going to come right off the bottom of the paper. And then we're going to draw his mouth, the rest of his mouth and his throat. And we're not going to start at the very edge here. We're going to start a little bit further in, and it's going to be a curved line that comes in and just goes again right off the paper. Now here's where you get to decide what you want your frog to look like. Do you want your frog to look like real? Do you want your frog to look kind of magical? Do you want your frog to have hearts or stars? Or maybe you want a rainbow frog? I mean, that would be kind of fun, right? Or maybe you want your frog to have dots, so you can do polka dots, you can do big ones, you can do middle ones, you can do little tiny ones. And so this frog looks like he's gonna have polka dots, and every single time there's 3 little ones. I think they'll go together. So here's a big one, we'll put 3 little ones over here, another circle or another polka dot there, and we'll color those a different color later. So our frog is pretty much done. So now we're going to work on the plants. And we're going to pretend that our frog is in a pond and he's kind of surrounded by some really cool greenery. Now our frog is really up close, so our plants are going to look kind of up close too. And our frog, if you notice, he kind of takes up most of the bottom, doesn't he? So these plants that I draw and that you're drawing are going to you're going to pretend that the plant is going down to the bottom, but our frog's kind of in front of it. So they're actually going to come out of his back. So we're going to start at his back and we're going to draw a line going up, and then it's suddenly going to curve off to the right or the left. And we're going to come back into the middle and we're going to keep going up some more, and then curve off, back to the middle and keep going up. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. But this time, I want you to know that your leaves don't have to be symmetrical. And what that means is if there's a leaf here, that doesn't mean another leaf has to go here. It can go up here and go way up here. You can have it go wherever you want. So we're just going to start, we're going to make it be about a finger's width for the stem. It's going to start going up and then it goes whoops, off to the left and back. Bring it back, keep going up, off and back, and keep going up. And we have this cool plant, and the reason we're drawing these kinds of plants is it makes it easy for us to put dragonflies on them later. Okay, so I have one of my plants. I think I'm going to draw another one. This one's kind of leaning off to that corner, so I'm going to draw one kind of going the other way. So this one's going to come up, and again it's going to veer off and back, up. It's going to go off and back, and it's going to keep going up until it goes off the page. Okay, the other side is going to go up, and it's gonna, it ran into the frog's eye. Goodness. So I know that that leaf will go a little bit farther, and then it would come back right around here. So I'm gonna finish my line here, then I'm gonna keep going up. I'm gonna draw another one really quickly, and then keep going up like that. So he's got these really cool, like, pieces of grass, or maybe some really cool pond plants behind him. I'm going to draw another really big one here, and it's going to kind of take up, because you see how this space, there's all this white, so I'm going to try to put some more things here. So this time I'm going to start at the bottom, but as it comes up it's going to run into my frog's head. So I know there's probably a leaf here that my frog is blocking. I'm going to keep coming up, come up, out and in, up, out, in, and up. And I'm going to draw the other side, and I might have to worry a little bit about my frog's face, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to start going up, out, in, it's going to run into his face, so I'm going to use my finger. It'd be going right through his face, come right out here, up, out, in, and keep going. So I have some really cool plants for my frog. So now I'm going to do my horizon line. I want there to be some water. So a horizon line is where there's the sky and the ground, and in this case the ground is water. So I'm going to choose a spot on the left side of my paper and draw a line until it runs into my frog or plant. It would come all the way through my frog, and then it come out right there. Now our frog is really hungry, so he needs some flies. So we're going to add some. I'm going to put 2 or 3 in there, and it's your choice however many flies you want him to have. And the way we're going to do our flies is instead of a circle, we're going to do an oval. And we're going to color it in with black. These are going to be really simple flies. And it's going to have a loop for the wings. And then we get to choose where our fly is flying from. So this fly looks like he's facing this way. So he came from this direction. So I'm going to do little dots, and I'm going to make him do a loop-de-loop. And I'm going to draw right over the stem and off the paper. So this fly came in. This is a movement line. And I show that with these dots. So he came in this way, and he went loop-de-loop, and now he's right there. And this frog's probably pretty happy that he sees that fly. So let's draw one that came a little bit too close, right? Maybe this fly's right here. This fly's probably a little worried. We're going to give him the loop. And where did this fly come from? Let's see. Maybe he came from down here. And you can choose, see this fly is having a good time going up and up and up, but you can still see how he's flying, and where he's probably going to go next is probably not a good idea. You might want to change your direction, fly. Let's put another fly in our picture. I have one here, maybe one over here. And this fly is very smart. He's in the back of the frog, so he's still kind of safe. I'll give him the loop loop. And this fly is just coming in from off the scene. And he's thinking, oh goodness, that's a giant frog. Maybe I should reverse directions. So we're not going to draw the dragonflies next. We're going to color first. So we're going to take our black marker and we are going to put that black marker away. And we're going to get out our colors. So I'm just using regular Crayola markers here. And earlier I did a blue frog and I did a yellow frog. So you can see this one has lightning stripes and this one has polka dots. So I want to choose a color that I haven't used yet. Maybe this one, I'll actually do a pink frog. I haven't actually ever done a pink frog. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and the frog is really large, so there's lots of room to color more quickly in the middle. And then I'm gonna slow down around the edges. Use my marker to kind of trace around those edges. And these markers, I don't know if you've ever used these this way, but you see the tiny line? But if you lie them a little bit on their side, you get a bigger line to color with. So it doesn't take as long and your hand doesn't get as tired. So here's the eye bump on the other side of my frog. I want to make sure I'm careful around this eye so that he doesn't have a giant pink eye. And then I can keep going. And I'm just doing a step. So I'm starting here and I'm coloring all the way up. And then I'm coming back down and I'm coloring all the way up. And when it comes to these polka dots, sometimes it's easier to use your marker to go around them first, nice and slowly, so that you don't get the color inside, in my case, the polka dots, but you might have chosen a different design for your frog. And sometimes it can be hard to color around these really tiny, tiny dots that I chose to do. You can see I'm laying it down again so that I can color a little bit more quickly and my hand doesn't get as tired. Now, as you are making your frog, you might have decided that you wanted to add a tongue. So this is a good time if you want to give him a tongue, you can go ahead and do that. But you don't have to. My frog is going to have his mouth closed. He's going to make all the flies wonder, I mean, is he actually hungry yet? Those flies don't know. Almost done coloring my frog, and as I'm coloring, I'm thinking, I wonder what color I want these dots to be. Now because my frog is pink and I didn't choose a very realistic color for my frog, I want to choose bright colors that are going to contrast with my frog. So I chose a warm color, like a fiery color, like a red, an orange, a yellow, a pink for my frog. So I'm going to choose cool colors for the dots on my frog. So when I say cool colors, I am talking about colors that are kind of icy. So I forgot a little piece of his mouth. So maybe I have this blue here, and I'm going to come in And that really shows up nicely because it's an opposite color from pink. It's so different that of course you're going to see it. So maybe these big spots are going to be this blue color, and then I'll choose another color for my little tiny ones. Oh, I think maybe I want another color for the big spots. See, you can change your mind as you're doing your piece. What is that? That's teal. So that's darker than I expected, but it still looks really pretty against the pink background. I have another one here. And then I'm going to choose something completely different for these little tiny ones. And I'm going to bring this new color that I have, Laser Lemon. So this is a really super bright yellow. There we go. So my frog is colored. Now I'm going to work on my plants next. So you do not have to do your plants green. You can choose a different color if you want. But what I do encourage you to do is choose two different hues of the same color. So I'm choosing green for my plants. If you choose purple, maybe choose a light purple and a dark purple. And I'm going to show you how to make the plants look like they go together a little bit. So this is a light green. And I'm going to choose to do the one over here light green too. I don't want to forget this piece underneath the frog's mouth. And up here. And then the middle one, I'm going to choose something else. So I did light green for these two. I'm going to get out a darker green and use that. Okay. In fact, instead of the darker green, I think I'm going to use this teal again because you can see that this was kind of, there we go. And then it'll almost look like my picture goes together because I use a similar color in the polka dots as I did in my plants. And I'm going to use this teal to decorate my light green plants. And I'm not going to do something fancy. I'm just going to give it stripes. And that's going to make it look a little bit different. And so I'm not going to put this one away. I'm going to use the same one and I'm going to use it to draw little stripes over my plant. And I'm using the same color so it all looks like it goes together. And I'm going to choose to do stripes over here as well. And I'm just changing the direction of my stripes as I go down my leaves, and then I'm going right back up again. So see how they're slightly changing? They're slightly tilting, and then they're going back up. There we go. Okay. Have my really cool plants. Do you see how those stripes just make it look a little bit different? I'm going to choose a blue for my water. This is, I think, a lighter blue. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. So there is my pond that the frog is kind of sitting right in front of. So you can see it in the background. And the frog is in what's called the foreground. So that's the part that's the closest to the viewer. That means you. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my black marker again and I'm going to make some dragonflies. And the reason I'm choosing to do it last is because I want you to be able to see whether it's the frog or the plant or whatever's in the background. I want you to see it through the dragonfly wings. So one of the reasons that we're drawing the plants this way is because we can put dragonflies on them. So we're going to just draw a little tiny circle for a head. We're going to draw a nice oval sticking out for the body. And we're going to do 2 loops. Kind of ran out of room a little bit up here. And 2 loops down here. And I'm drawing right over that stem. And then I'm going to go ahead and give him stripes. Now to do the wings, to make it look like actual dragonfly wings, and these wings are a little bit small, so I'll make sure I draw a bigger dragonfly after this one so you can see a little bit more closely, is we're going to draw a line in the middle of the wing, close to the top, and we're going to have it come out, and then it's going to curve down. Come out, curve down. See, these wings are a little bit small, so it's harder to see. So bear with me and I'll show you how to do a bigger wing. But right in the middle, line goes out and down, out, then down, and out. And we're going to do the same thing. If you have a hard time doing it in this direction, you can always feel free to turn your paper. But it's going to come out and then down, out and down, out and down. And we're drawing right over whatever's behind that wing. So if it's the frog or if it's the plant, it's going to come out and down, out and down, out and down. And then you can choose a color right then if you want to color your dragonfly. And you can see how they're really going to stick out. Choose a different color, right, than the plant behind it. So I'm going to draw one more dragonfly, but this one I'm going to draw a little bit bigger. So I'm going to have him resting right here on this plant. So here's the head and the long body. And let's give him a little bit bigger wings this time, shall we? So we want a big loop and a big loop. And I'm going to do it on the other side too. We'll give him some stripes for the body. And let's go through how to do these wings again. So line in the middle, closer to the top. It's going to go up and it's going to curve. Keep going up and curve. Keep going up and curve. Keep going up. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. And you see how I turn my paper a little bit? So up and curve, up and curve, up and curve. And for this one, I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go to the left and curve, left and curve, left and curve. And I'm going to do it for this last wing. Left and curve, left and curve, left and curve. And then I'm going to decide what color is this beautiful dragonfly going to be. Is it going to be a different color? Maybe I'm going to make this one red. I think this is red. There we go. He is super bright, but he really sticks out against those green plants, and that's kind of what we want. And there you have it. There is your picture of your frog, and you can see that they can all look very different depending on what colors you choose. So here's my pink. I have a blue frog, and then here's the yellow one if you want to give your frog lightning bolts. But they all have different flies, different dragonflies, and you can even add other butterflies or other plants to your scene, or little lily pads in the background. Whatever you add is up to you. If you want to go back in and color the sky, you can. If you want to make a rainbow in the background, you can. Or maybe this frog is hanging out at night and you want to make the sky really dark so that it looks like it's a nighttime frog. Those are all choices that you can have. You can even make it look like it's raining. So I hope that you enjoyed this frog project, and I hope that you are drawing frogs, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you back in 1 week for our next video. Bye!